Shalom, sisters, and welcome to my channel. I'm your Sister Ray about Yehuda Thomas, here today to talk to you about what you should know when coming into this truth. So if you are one of our seasoned sisters, one of the seasoned daughters of Zion, then you are very well versed and you know exactly what I'm talking about here. The things that you should know when you first come into the truth, the questions that you have, the answers that you need, so many different doctrines, these things like that. So you guys can comment and help me out with this video and letting some of our sisters who may be truth adjacent or who may be new to this truth, letting them know what things that they should look out for or look to expect when coming into this truth based off of your experiences, right? So before we get into this video, again, I want to say welcome to my sisters and to my subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your love and for your support. Thank you for continuing to comment on my videos so that they're able to get more viewership from YouTube. And to all the new sisters, shalom to you. Welcome to my channel. I hope that you enjoy anything that you see here. I pray that you are edified by my videos on my channel. I hope that you see one video and that compels you to go look at other videos. Feel free to like, feel free to comment, and if the Most High leads you, feel free to subscribe. I love to have your subscription. So let's get into these things to know when coming into this truth. Okay, so first things first. In coming into this truth, you have to know or need to know or probably already know that the blacks, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos are the descendants of the biblical Israelites. So we are not black, Native American, or Latino. We are all one group, one nationality, and that is Israel, the Israelites. There are different tribes, which I'm sure if you have come into this truth, and you're probably looking to get information about, like, you know, what tribe am I in, what tribe. I don't personally have any type of like tribe chart information or anything like that. There are different people, different camps who have that information, but there's different people look at it differently, and some people are like, no, this isn't correct. So I don't even get on. Second thing, being an Israelite is... What's the matter? Oh, come on. Oh, come here. Oh. I'll be right back, guys. And we're back. As I was saying, second thing, being an Israelite is not, I repeat, not a choice. It's also not a religion. It is a nationality. We are a group of people. So that's the second thing to know when coming into this truth. Even if you yourself feel like that it's a religion, if you're looking for a new religion, it's not what you're thinking, because it's not a religion at all. Religion is just not a part of the equation. So these are things to know. These are things to keep in the forefront of your brain, because there are going to be people who you're going to have to help talk down off of this ledge, because outside people will think these things. They'll think, oh, you know, you joined a new religion, or you joined a cult, or any of that stuff. So that's second. Third thing, there are just as many. If you live in Christianity, I don't know anything about any other religions because I've never practiced another religion. Only Christianity. I was in that cult for years, 30-something years, until I got out and was in the truth. But yeah, if you're trying to escape all of those different doctrines and false prophets and false preachers, you can forget it, because there are just as many doctrines, just as many false prophets, and just as many false teachers in this truth. You have to be careful. You have to make sure that you are studying to show thyself approved. This is important because this is the way that nobody can pull the proverbial wool over your eyes again, or a whole new wool, a whole new skin over your eyes again, because now you'll know, and you'll know it for yourself. Because if you're coming out of Christianity, if you're anything like me or anything like a lot of other previous people who were previous, modesty is the best policy. There's a reason why the Most High has called for the daughters of Zion to be modest, to dress in modesty, and it affects your whole overall attitude. If you think back, if you are new to this truth, then this may be something that you may grapple with. It was something for me. It was something that not so much being modest, but just getting in the mindset of not focusing on dressing or looking or being sexy when I go out in public. And it didn't matter if it was going to the store. It didn't matter what it was. I was going to church. Oh, I was going to look sanctified, but I was going to be sexy. That was on period every time. So modesty is the best policy. Make it a mindset. Make it an outward thing, but it has to be on your heart. Modesty. Oh, and before we move from modesty, I just want to point out that modesty does not mean homely, and it does not mean frumpy. You don't have to look frumpy. You don't have to look homely. You don't have to look even like an old lady. You know, long dresses, long skirts, and fringes, all of that, it's all still what I consider, and this is for lack of better words, sexy. Like, I still feel like I look, quote unquote, for lack of better words, sis, you understand because you're my sister, sexy. Like, I still feel good. I still feel like I look presentable. I still feel like, I look like a queen. I love it. And it's you get a different response when you're out in public and you're looking like this, opposed to looking like, low cut shirt, breasts out, dress tight, things like that. So okay, we're moving on from modesty and we're going on to thing 5. So coming into this truth, you have to know that it's a big change. This change is possibly going to be off-putting to some friends and some family, because they're going to feel as though there is nothing wrong with what you've been doing, that there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, and that they don't feel like you need to change. And this is kind of because they don't feel like they need to change, and they don't want you coming trying to change them. So that's a big one that I feel like coming into this truth, you need to prepare yourself for the possibility, because everybody's not the same. In my family, most of my immediate family took to the truth right away. I mean, our spirits just they just bear witness to the word. So as I was saying, it may or may not be a hard pill, so to speak, to swallow for your family, because like I said, it wasn't for my family. My family took to it right away to some things. Now, everybody's not perfect, of course. Me, I took it and I ran with it, and I haven't looked back. There are family members who choose to do different things, and I'm not here to convince, coerce, or condemn. It's your life. I took you to the scripts, and that's that. I say what I need to say when it needs to be said, but I don't spend a lot of time going back and forth with anyone about anything in this truth, in this Bible, because it is the word of the Most High, and or the word that he sent to his prophets. So same thing. So if you don't want to listen to the word, I might say something, but I'm not going to say but so much, because if you won't listen to the Most High, you're not going to listen right now. Thing 6, don't feel bad about quote unquote taking holidays away from your children. They will adapt. They will get through it. They will get over it. They will get past it, because if they're still a child, they're going to have way more years of not celebrating these pagan days than they have had celebrating these pagan days and living in folly, because you didn't know any better. So if you have children, do not feel bad for immediately cutting out holidays. Now, I'm not saying cut things out and don't talk to your children or whatever the case might be. I had a conversation with my children and they completely understood. Now, something else though, I did not put a lot of emphasis on holidays and birthdays before I came into the truth. It's just never been something that I've ever been real big on. All praises to the Most High for that, but that's not the same. Some people go all out for holidays and for birthdays. Don't be ashamed to stop. And the holiday thing might be something that causes issues with family, because they don't get it. That should have been thing 7. When family members, friends, whatever, what have you, are still doing things in that same way, they do not get it. They don't understand. And a lot of times they don't even believe you. So you need to stand firm on what you say. You need to make sure that you stand firm on this word and knowing what's going on and knowing why we don't celebrate certain these holidays, why we don't celebrate birthdays, why we do and don't do certain things. That's why it's a precept for that. That's why you need to get in and stay in these scripts, because you're going to be tested, you're going to be checked, and the most of the time you get checked and tested by the people who are around you, who are trying to debunk you, trying to tell you that you trip, but you're actually not tripping. These holidays are pagan. There's not one holiday that's not pagan. They're all pagan. It doesn't matter. You pick, you choose. Even the birthday thing, we don't celebrate birthdays. That's pagan. So we stay away from anything that's not of the Most High, and that's that. People in your family, friends, co-workers, they may have a problem with that. They may find issue with it's just dinner. It's just dinner. It's not just dinner. It's worship. It's pagan worship. So stay away. There'll be no dinners. No, we don't need any gifts for Christmas. We don't need that. We don't celebrate that. So get used to saying that a lot. But anyway, I digress and I move on. All right, thing 7. And maybe this possibly should have been number 1, but this is something that as you get further into this truth, you really start to realize and really start to see, and it's really going to be revealed to you over and over again, that everybody ain't going to make it. That when the word speaks about the remnant, or when the word speaks about the 1/3, or when the word speaks about the 2/3, when the word of the Most High is telling us these things, it's true. And when you come into the truth, you start to see dang, this is a lot. And there are people, and it's not a lot, I don't mean like that, but I mean in terms of it's people who won't accept it. They will not accept this truth. They don't want to be correct because they don't want to be corrected. You have to remember that Christianity, religion in general, but Christianity is a heck of a drug. Religion is a heck of a drug, and people are involved in cults and don't even realize it. I didn't realize it. I was a Christian for 30-something years, and I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize what was being left out because I wasn't ever being told that I even needed to actually read the Bible, though it might seem like it's something that you should know. But it's you just kind of trust that the pastor's preaching and teaching as they should, and no, that's not the case. So you need to prepare yourself for these facts, that there are going to be people who are going to come again. You might not even want to debate, and there are going to be people who want to come and debate you. They might not even have all their eggs in a basket, or all their ducks in a row, but they're going to want to come and debate you about what you think you know all of a sudden. So prepare. Be prepared at all times to know what's going on and to be able to give an answer, to be able to go to these scriptures and to find what you're looking for and to give an answer. And that way you don't have to think or worry about a thing, because you're giving all your answers out of the word of the Most High. You're not even giving the answers. The Most High has already answered the questions that they have. Eons and decades ago, the Most High answered questions that hadn't even been asked yet, because he knew that one day Raya or Sarah or Monica or whoever might be out here watching is going to be stopped and be asked these questions and be drilled and be questioned. And it's boom, here go all the answers. That way you don't have to give an answer from yourself. You can give an answer straight from the Most High. And that's the best answer that anybody can get. So prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for people, and prepare yourself for the fact that it may not be easy to pull away from the things that we have known for so long. And I'm just going to tell you this because I'm your sister and you're my sister and I love you. It's going to be some people that you're going to have to pull away from. It's going to be some things that you're going to have to... It's going to be a lot of things, honestly, sis, that you're going to have to pull away from. And people are going to be, it's not that serious. It's just pork. It's just sin, and you want to get away from it. And sis, the final thing that you should know when coming into this truth is that it's important who you keep around you. Your company is so much more important now than it's ever been. There are going to be some times, especially when you first come into this truth, there are going to be some lonely times, sis. There are going to be some lonely times. Even if you come into the truth with other people, there are going to be some lonely times when you have to sit and be alone with your thoughts, be alone with your word, be alone with the Most High, and you're going to have to cry that thing out. You're going to have to fast. You're going to have to pray, because some of these answers you can't even get unless you fasting and praying. So you be prepared for that, sis. It can be overwhelming. So that's why I just want to prepare you right now. It may be some lonely times because it's important who you keep around and who you don't keep around. These things will affect you directly and indirectly. So make sure that you check your company and don't be afraid of being literally by yourself. Don't be afraid, because that's a part of being a soldier. Though when we think of being soldier, we think of a big group. Soldier, you have to think of the word sojourn. That's a solo thing. It's just for you. And though there are other people out here sojourning as well, there are other soldiers in this army of the Most High that are out here, and they are seeking that truth, and they are living that truth, and they are spreading that truth. You are out here with them, but you are set apart. You are out here doing this with other people, but for you, by yourself, for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But for the sake of your soul, this is what you're doing, and this is what you're living by yourself. So, sisters, before I go, I don't want it all to seem like, I hope that this didn't come off like doom and gloom, because that's not it. This is an amazing realization, and all praises to our Father in heaven. All praises to the Most High Yahweh and His grace and His mercy on us, and allowing us to be the true and chosen children, set apart. And the fact that He woke us up at this stage in the game, it's 2022, and there are people who are hitting the snooze button left and right, but He chose to wake you up, and all praises, you chose to answer that call. You chose to wake up. So before we end this video, I want to leave you with a couple of scripts that will help and that will lead and that will guide, because you need it. Okay, sis. So before we get into these scriptures, I just want you to be encouraged that you have come into the knowledge of who you are. And so your life is officially really beginning for the first time, because now you are being equipped with the truth. And that's not something that's a one-stop shop. It's something that you have to continue to work on and continue to be diligent to the Most High and to His word, and stay in it so that you can get these laws, statutes, and commandments committed to your life, to your heart, and everything that you have going on. And so it just becomes not even second nature, but it becomes first nature, as it should be. So let's get into these scriptures really quickly so we can encourage and edify our sisters. And if y'all have, sisters, any questions, any comments, please leave it in the comment section. Okay, sisters, so let's get into these scriptures really quickly. What I've pulled, the precepts that I've pulled are first starting in Exodus 19, verse 5 and verse 6. So we'll just go ahead and get that started, and then I'll call them out as I go. Okay, so Exodus chapter 19, verse 5 through 6. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. All praises to the Most High. So that's first things first. And like I said, that's Exodus 19, 5 through 6. The next script that I pulled is in Deuteronomy. And this is from Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6 reads as thus. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6 reads as thus. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power, and Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All praises to the Most High. And one of the last scripts that I want to bring out, there are more that I have written down, but one of the last scripts that I want to bring out tonight is it's Psalm, and this is the first Psalm, Psalm 1 through 6. So this is Psalm 1 in its entirety. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. All praises to the Most High. Woo! That's a good one. So, like I said, sisters, be encouraged. This truth is a big deal. It is a big change. It is going to cause some people to look at you differently, but that's okay, because you are making the right decision. You are following the Most High. You are following his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. Do not sidestep, sis. Do not waver. Do not get weary in well-doing. Whatever you do, do not get weary in well-doing. This is not Christianity. I repeat. This is not Christianity. This is not where you can pick and choose when you follow, when you don't follow, when you listen, when you don't listen. This is not that. This is where you come into the place where you realize who your actual father is, what your actual bloodline is, the magnitude of what we're doing, the mantle that we're carrying. This is where we realize this, and we see that it's bigger than Christianity. It's bigger than these strong delusions that some of our people are under. Christianity, Nation of Islam, Catholicism, you name it. You have a charge on your life, sis, and are all going to have to answer for what it is that we have done with such a great assignment. We have such a great assignment right now in just knowing who we are and knowing what it is that the Most High will have from us, because what we're doing now is history. What we're doing now is heritage. What we're doing now is what our ancestors did, and this is what was stripped from us, what was taken from us, what was stolen from us, what was kept. It was kept from us, and we were trained and indoctrinated to think that we're supposed to keep so many other different customs, do so many other different things, and it's so far ingrained into our people that it's just another regular part of life, and we are the beginning of that change. So, with that being stated, sis, I love you. I thank you so much for just, coming to this channel today. So, sisters, I hope that you were edified today, and I hope that now that you've heard my top 10 things, well, not really my top 10, but 10 things that you should know when coming into this truth, hopefully it'll put you in a place where you'll want to research some more, look at some more videos. It's a wealth of knowledge out there. It's a plethora of videos on not just like social media and on the internet, but on YouTube. There are so many hundreds of thousands of videos where you can watch plenty of people who have lots of information. And it's a great start. I started with the Watchmen reports, and I love Mike Malice. I love his videos. Melanin Wisdom has some great videos and great teachings. It's a lot of great brothers and sisters of Zion out here. Get on these, but above and far beyond getting on these videos and looking at YouTube and getting information that fast way from YouTube or social media or researching and Googling and things like that, get in your scriptures. You don't necessarily have to have anything fancy. You can get the King James Version Bible almost anywhere. The Dollar Tree has a King James Bible. The Apocrypha, you may have to end up going to a Bible bookstore, something like that, because you can just pick up the 1611 version of the King James Bible, and that will have the apocryphal books in that. Or, I mean, like, I know that the Sefer is more of a big investment, only because this is like a $100-something Bible, but it's well worth it, and it has a lot of different Hebrew words in it and stuff like that. So if you're trying to, have certain words in your arsenal, your repertoire, you'll have it through this Bible. So it makes life a little bit more easy when it comes down to learning the actual name of the Most High and things like that. So certain words, as you get further into this truth and you start learning, like you learn the name of the Most High, and that's a whole nother separate video about the differences in the names: Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh Shai, and Yahusha, and it's a lot of different things but that's another video. As you can see, I'm getting flustered. That's a lot. But in the meantime, the main things are study this word. Study this word. These scriptures are going to be the same no matter which Bible you get. Study your word and look on YouTube. Do your research. Look on Google. There are just so many different people who have so much information, but you might run into some crazies, because there are some crazy folk out here. People who they don't believe in anything but the Old Testament or just the New Testament, or they don't believe in Yahweh Shai. People are crazy. So with that being said, stay in your word, know for yourself, and be able to know that this word correlates and parallels with other history and other historical events, because this is a historical book and a historical document. It's not made up. It's not fairy tale. So like I said, but what I was saying is that sometimes I like reading this Bible because you don't have to do so much changing of the names, because after you come into the knowledge of the names, sometimes it becomes your bugaboo when you hear people say Lord and people say Jesus. You be like, ugh, that's not his name. So it helps kind of in the reading part, so the reading of the word doesn't come as distracting as it can be sometimes. And if you know what I mean, sisters, you know what I'm talking about. So but yeah, so like I said, just stay encouraged, be encouraged. I'm your sister. I'm here for you. the.daughtersofzionnetwork@gmail.com is my email address. You can email me if you have questions, comments, concerns that you might not want to share in the comment section. If there are things that you want to see, if you guys want to see some different content on the channel, put that in the comments or email me at the.daughtersofzionnetwork@gmail.com. But like I said, I love y'all, and thank you for staying here to the end. Hope this video wasn't too long. Chime in the comments if there's anything I left out or anything you want to add. And with that being stated, shalom, sisters. Bye.